Morose is really looking. We get the trap and we're gonna go ripping dash, flash, go combo. He's dodging, but ooh, the long arm of the low for the Murdoch for securing the kill. This Murdoch thought he was safe, but it wasn't counting for the flash into the ripping dash into the burst. Still thought he was still alive, and the long arm of the low was here to seal the deal. Once again, we have a Morose game here on the Feng Mao. Quick wrap up of like the abilities and the item he is selecting for that match. Starting with the hamstring, into the safeguard, into the ripping dash. I feel like Feng Mao is pretty open on how you level up things in the lane at the early level, but the abilities priority is always the same. We go for the Earth Shatter first, the ultimate, then of course the hamstring for consistent damage and wave clear, then the ripping dash because we want to be able to one-shot target, and we finish with the safeguard for a little bit more move speed, uptime and survivability. In terms of items, it's not the usual Feng Mao item. Here, this game, Morose was on a speed run to try to finish the game as fast as he can, snowballing as hard as he can, and so we kind of have more a snowballing type of build. We see the archers to be able to stack as fast as he can to get like a lot of powers, and also we see the perforator of the third item slot, which is normally something you don't take. We take the omen most of the time, but here he was so far ahead in that match, as you're going to see, that it was the right choice. Of course, mutilator into the second slot. Mind Razor is actually finished after the Perforator has been completed. We just go for the Soul Chalice for the stacking, and then we ended up with Pain Weaver, and we don't get the 5th item because Morose just finished the game before. This match, we have Morose once again on the offlane, and I selected that match because it's really gonna show you how to push a lead forward. It's actually like an amazing speedrun by Morose, and I want to see like all the little things that allow to go crazy snowball out of him and secure like a W for his team. So here we're facing against the Quang. Against the Quang, you need to be careful about the Light of the Heaven. As you can see here, Morose sidestep to be able like to dodge it, and then I don't know if you realize, but he just wait for the duration of the shield to disappear before then he go in for the auto attack hamstring. Very important here. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to dodge the shield, so he was into fighting mode against that Feng Mao. That's why here he decided to go for the trade. So every time the Light of the Heaven connects on you with the passive, you're gonna lose the trade. That's why like Morose tried to dodge it, but he pay attention. Here we can see we have kind of like a very early gank from that crunch, and we secure the flash out of the Quang, and the Quang is level 1 still. And you can see that Morose doesn't try to follow up that gank because like he has a wave to farm. It's important to get your level, but as soon as the gank is secured, the flash has been expanded. Now Morose is trying to zone. He's gonna try to get like the best out of that situation that the jungler created for him. And so here he keeps the zoning going, and now the wave is so big that it's just gonna push, but also you don't really need to zone that aggressively anymore, simply because the wave is still big that minions are not gonna die. So here Morose is gonna be level 3 while his opponent is still level 1. So that's like a huge advantage, and already also his opponent is no flash and already damaged. So here we're gonna check if the enemy jungler is coming. The Quang is stepping up into the wave, we go in for the poke immediately. This Quang should have waited for the full wave to be under tower, but now it's gonna be like a huge wave under tower. So the dive is not that simple, but possible. But look at what Morose is going to do here. He auto attack, he wait for his opponent to get like one auto attack on himself, so the opponent take the whole damage of the wave, and now he can go in for the hamstring into the ripping dash and securing the first blood when this whole wave is under tower, which means that here we lose the cannon in terms of experience. We lose 2 melee. We probably gonna lose like a lot of range minion. Already 2, 3, probably 4, like probably the whole wave is gone for that Quang. And here you can see how Morose took advantage of that early gank. True, the early gank was great, but how much like Morose gained of a lead out of that gank is what is truly impressive. Because now we can see that Morose is super far ahead. Here he has to survive the enemy gank, but he's very low on mana. He's gonna start to walk away. I've just enough amount of mana for hamstring, and he's just gonna use the hamstring to disengage against that crunch that doesn't have dash, so the slow is enough. Here, a little bit of a greedy back here, but the Quang is trying to catch him, but he only have 2 abilities. He doesn't even have the Surge of the Heaven, the dash yet, so Morose is completely fine. So what I was going to say is you can see how out of that early gank, Morose created like a very strong situation. First, he zoned the enemy Quang. So the Quang is low on level and cannot really like get any farm in, which means that the wave is going to be bigger on the side of Morose, and also like the Quang is going to stay remaining low. Overall, then for the dive, he just understands that he has a big wave, and probably this Quang like here made a big mistake of going for the auto attack, but Morose kind of baited the Quang to say like, hey, I'm under tower, I'm going to attack you, attack me. Well, it was just a bait. So that way then Morose could get like all the damage from the minion in, and then he can just like finish it with the Ripping Dash to get out of the tower. On top of that, then he pushed like just enough wave to survive the enemy gank, but also, I don't know if you noticed, he come back to lane when the wave was crashing and he didn't lose a single minion in terms of experience or creep score. Last hit. Truly like so far super strong. And now here you can see how Morose is far ahead. Soul Calice already like completed, so it's gonna start farming that, and you can see that here it just go for Ripping Dash hamstring, and that's a huge chunk of the life of the Quang that is gone. So now this Quang cannot play the match at all. True, the early gank helped, but what's really like sealed the deal is how Morose like played from that gank. It's really like him that take the best out of that gank afterwards.
Allied tower under attack.
So here once again, we're kind of building wave. You can see that Morose is not like hard shoving wave. He's waiting to get like pretty big wave. So here is gonna check once again. Wave is close to enemy tower, so we're gonna check. And now like Morose is close to the level 6, gonna get the level 6. Once again, this Quang should have waited for this wave to be under tower. And with the 2-level deficit, like that execute from very, very, very high, because it's not based on the percentage of your health, it's a flat value. And if you're missing like 2 level of health, well, this execute is gonna execute you from like super, super high. And now this Quang once again died at the timing that the wave was crashing under tower when it's not a cannon wave. Like cannon is already gone, which means that you can see like here this Quang has lost the full wave, and now the next wave is coming under tower. And here Morose is gonna already like secure the first tower of the game very, very, very early on. Normally like tower are not secured before the 8-minute mark, because tower has a bonus defense when it comes to like the first 8 minutes of a match. But here we already get like the first tower and we're like in a super strong position. Probably here you don't want to push more than that because you don't have your ultimate, which means you're not strong like into like the fight if the enemy jungler is coming. You're already like a pretty nice bounty, and you're also sitting on 2000 gold. So here Morose is just gonna push this wave, and now he's gonna recall to base to keep like the momentum going. Like he wants to still like be big, and we can see we're at 67 CS against 26. It's like a crazy difference already in that game. Of course, there is a difference in terms of player caliber between like the two offlaners, but still, I feel like it's very interesting to see like all those little detail. Like at level 1, we dodge the light of the event because we understand the matchup. Then we find like a very nice like zoning. Then we kind of build the wave together, and then with the wave we kind of bait the auto attack to get the successful dive, and that created like all the situation. Now we keep like the ball rolling because we're gonna like not take like the wave, we take the teal buff. After the teal buff we're gonna like farm more the wave. As you can see, take the teal buff and only lose like 1 melee minion. So like we keep like a high tempo without losing farm. Once again, like don't go for the teal buff. If that means that you're gonna lose your whole wave, it's not worth it. But for 1 minion it's completely fine. And here we feel strong. And once again you can see as soon as Morose like step up over that fog wall, every time he go for checking behind that fog wall, it's very important to do so you don't like get surprised by the jungler. But here we can see the crunch is starting to come over, and here Morose is gonna check again, but that's on the timing the crunch is here. But Morose is 3 level up, but still it's not gonna like overcommit, it's just gonna get some damage. But now he feels confident after that disengage that is cooldown our backup, and you can see that boy next door is going for the blue buff. He gets spotted on the ward, but he's still like level like 8, he has the ultimate up. This crunch is kind of low, and this crunch is gonna commit to it, and we're gonna get like no, they'll go in. We try to secure the blue buff. Unfortunately the blue buff is not secured. The reset was a little bit too much. We're gonna get the explosive flower, but we want to bait that Quang into that fight. We feel stronger, but ooh, the long arm of the low is connecting. Flash from the Quang, flash from Morose, and now we're going to disengage. We survive with only 12 HP. That's not a lot of health, and that would have been like an amazing shutdown for that Quang, but Morose kind of secured it. Here, I think like a little approximation by Morose, not realizing that the Murdoch on the other side of the map is already level 6, because if that long arm of the low is not available, Morose would have won that fight pretty convincingly against that Quang. So we just finished the Mutilator on that back, so we're like super duper strong, and here we can see we're going to go for the 5 camp. The reason is, like, you can see that the crunch is on the other side of the map, so here it's kind of fine to take that 5 camp to like kind of maximize your farm and keep like working further, because it's probable that this crunch is not gonna come back to that 5 camp before 2 minutes. And here we can see that there is some action in the mid lane. Instead of going into his wave, Morose decided to go for it. Now we get the kill onto the rest, but now we're getting like a grass down. You can see like Morose still like not panicking, just like waiting for his cooldown to come back. He's gonna dash away. The crunch tried to follow up, but now we get the on crunch, and now we can come back with some damage, and we're gonna secure the kill. The Feng is dead, so that's why like Morose is taking this farm, because this farm is not gonna be collected by the Feng. So we want to take all this farm and crash back the wave, and that way like otherwise the wave would have crashed on the tower, the Feng would have not been able to collect it, and so once again you can see Morose took the 5 camp, took also like the mid wave, but is not like taking them in situation that his teammate was going to look for them. So in a sense, it's not like really like diminishing anything. It's just like not really stealing farm. It's just maximizing his own farm. And now that all this thing has gone, you can see like the wave was slowly pushing back towards his lane, and now he can collect like this huge wave, while the enemy Quang, because all those rotation are not a good timing, is actually like not being like really like successful in terms of collecting farm. And now we get the teal buff again. And here we can see the Quang is actually rotating on the map, going for some aggression on the other side of the map. But here like Morose is like, okay, I already have like rotated once, and here I have a lot of farm to collect. That's not a rotation angle. Like they can secure maybe the goal, the Feng Tooth from that rotation, but it's not where I want to be here. I want to farm. I want to keep like building my lead. This rotation is gonna take me so long, so I just gonna keep focusing on farming and accepting that my team has to deal with that situation and that Quang without me. And this is where also, if you want to push a lead, you have to understand when you should try to help your team and when you should keep like your tempo up, your farming up, like try to snowball out of control. And here, thanks to that, Morose is gonna like secure 4 wave of farm, a teal buff, and also like a tier 2 tower, which will like keep pushing him like even further into the match. 12 minutes 19 seconds, already 2 tower being secured by Morose. Quite on track on trying to go for the speed run of the fastest inhibitor, but we'll see if he gets there. And then here we can still like the 3 camp on the way back, and here the crunch is on the other side of the map. The crunch is on the dual lane, and so here that's a play that I think like very few people would actually like go for, because they would say like, okay, I don't have my jungler next to me, so it's actually kind of risky to try to go for the mini prime. But Morose is so far ahead, and here we see that Romauer is coming to help, but I think like Morose would have been fine to do it by himself, and now he's gonna secure a mini prime. Now we do have like the River of respawning, so we're gonna secure that to get a little bit of mana, and now thanks to that mini prime, immediately we try to apply like some pressure on the mid tower. And here we see this Quang is 4 level down, the direct opposition is 4 level down, and now we try like to apply a little bit of pressure on this tower, but we're not like really like overcommitting or anything. We're taking it slow. Minions are going to die. We secure the tower, 3rd tower in 30 minute 24, and now they try to go in. That's gonna be a 2v3, 2v4. So Morose like is a 5-0 target. That's a lot, a huge bounty, so it's not gonna risk it. Like there is no need to go like for a crazy play here. Maybe he can get a couple of kills, but then he's gonna be traded. So here what does Morose do? He's simply gonna disengage. Once again, the crunch is on the Feng Tooth, so that means that probably then we're looking and the whole blue side is up, so Morose is gonna take advantage to also clear this side of the jungle. and then also getting his farm, because the whole action is kind of gone. And so even if he has no mana and he's not like super healthy, it's still like pretty fine for him to be able to go for all that farm. And then him backing after all of that happening, it's not really like a tempo loss on the map because Mini Prime is gone and also Feng is gone. So there is like no need to be anywhere on the map. And so that's exactly what he does. And now that he has pushed that lane, now you can see that with this Mini Prime, thanks to him being pushing that lane, he's not gonna go rotate on the other side of the map. Here, he has his eyes open on the dual lane, on the tower of the dual lane, and he's even ready to sacrifice his own tower on the right side for that. And once again, another way to quickly like push your advantage is to realize what you can sacrifice. And so here Morose is coming, got spotted by the ward, but this Scream didn't really like pay attention to it, and he's so far ahead with the Mini Prime. Perforator is also finished, and now we're gonna secure that tower. Well, this Murdoch needs to be careful, because if he stays a little bit too much, yeah, that's gonna be a dead Murdoch. And I love here, because I didn't mention it before, but we have gone for the Arthurs and the Perforator, which normally you go more for the next into the Omen in that slot. But Morose realized that he's so far ahead, while the crunch like gets exploded once again, that he actually gonna go for a build that push even more his advantage. Perforator and Arthurs is more like a snowballing type of build than the usual like Feng Mao build. But because Morose was so far ahead and he realized he can like push his advantage, he adapted his build on the fly to be able to push even more the advantage. Here we can see that the crunch did a good job on the right side. It actually defended the tier 1 tower. So here Morose secured like already like 5 towers in 15 minutes. That's absolutely crazy. He got the local gold of all those towers, sometimes sharing it a little bit. And now like we got 2 towers. It's just a moment to go back for the reset. And that's exactly what Morose does. He's not really healthy on mana. He's not going to overstay his welcome. He has 2k to spend. There is no need to stay. So we're gonna complete the Mind Razor, already like 3 items finished in 16 minutes as well. And now we're gonna go back to our lane. The Quang is rotating now, but the Quang is rotating on the timing that everyone has gone back to base. So every single rotation of the Feng Mao has been super impactful, while most of the rotation of that Quang has not really like been successful. And so now we're super strong. We can fight 1v2 with no problem. You can see that Morose is actually like 6 level ahead from, well, actually only 5 now that the crunch like just level up, but like 5 level ahead. And here this crunch is coming and Morose is like, okay, little damage, combo, you're dead. Here this crunch should respect the fact that we have a super fed Feng Mao that is 5 level ahead, like 7-0 before that kill. And now we're not gonna rotate. We're still like gonna apply pressure because we just get the kills. 3 people is on the left lane, which means the rotation would take like forever. So Morose is just like, okay, let's apply some pressure on the inhibitor. We do have the rest coming, but here the rest needs to space much better than that, because you can see here Morose like took some big chunk of his health, and here he's still like not spacing properly. So Morose is just gonna walk back and get the kill. If you're against a Feng Mao, you have to force the Feng Mao to use the Reaping Dash to get onto you, not using the Reaping Dash to be able to get out of the tower. Here the rest positioning was very bad, and so Morose secured the kill. But once again, we're playing like slow pace. We're not really like committing for anything. Here you see, wave on the tower, we're zoning away this Murdoch. Murdoch is gone, so now we're gonna turn towards like the inhibitor. And we're not really like forcing stuff until it's the right moment to do so. And now, pre-18 minutes, we secure the inhibitor of the offlane. But once again, we secure the inhibitor. Morose is getting like low on mana. He's not really wanting to force anything, but Romauer get picked up because Romauer overstayed. We tried to go for the kill. Unfortunately, the Phoenix cancelled the reset of the ultimate, so we cannot keep dealing some damage. We get the pull back. Morose is gonna go out. Here, Romauer was a little bit too greedy. Shouldn't have like tried to fight there. Even if we get the kill here, it's like at best a tier 2, but it's like a very, very scuff fight overall for the downside. And so Morose was correct to disengage, but at the same time, he's not like letting his ally die by himself. He still tried to make a play because he thinks it's still like slightly playable, but he doesn't overcome it. And so now we're gonna reset, get all the mana back, spend our gold, and now we're gonna look at maybe like the Fengtus, because Fengtus just respawn. At least we want to be around to be able to contest that. Level 14, of course, the higher level, like 3 level up from anyone else into the match. And here we're looking at finding like a pick here. The rest was around, so we try to apply a little bit of pressure. We're gonna capture the wave in mid. We try to get like as much as we can. Once again, keep the wave up so we can get like some pressure, and if we get the kill, it's easy to convert it into something else. So here, once again, we're fishing for a pick. This race look juicy. We're gonna try to maybe go there, but then a nice sword. And nice combo. Morose took a little bit of damage. He's going to try to go onto the Quang. He realized the crunch is here. So you can see here, Morose is waiting for the right entry. He's going to try to go in. Unfortunately, the crush died too fast. But no, that means also the Quang is probably dead because now it's easy to chase. And as a Feng Mao, you should be looking for what is the right entry moment. Now we're going to get the kill onto the Murdoch. We switch to the next carry. And that's going to be like a dead cream. And now we just have to finish with the rest. We're going to chase that. And that's the quadra kill for Morose. It's a close, just short of the pentakill because the Earthshatter was slightly like too slow on the first kill, but here we get the secure. So we decide to not go immediately for the Feng Tooth. The only damage we have was the Fey plus the face plus Morose, but as you can see, Morose is very low on mana, so like the actual DPS on the objective is kind of super slow. So this is why we decided to first like just steal like all the enemy jungle, and now we're gonna get like the Feng Tooth after we go back to base. Painweaver already finished. We're gonna go for it, try to secure him while like everyone is healthy, and the enemy team has to defend because as we can see, the core took quite a lot of damage from that wave on the right side. So no need also like to go too fast. Once again, you're super strong, you're super big, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't play smart. And that's exactly what Morose has gone here. So far, most of his fight that he has decided to take are always like correct. And here we're gonna secure the Feng Tooth pretty easily. Most of Feng Tooth has been done simply by the damage from the Feng Mao. Here we're trying to maybe like find a pick onto that Murdoch, and this Murdoch seems to be like kind of far away, but Morose is really looking. We get the trap and we're gonna go ripping dash, flash, go combo. He's dodging, but ooh, the long arm of the low for the Murdoch for securing the kill. Here, why is Morose going like very aggressive here? Probably because he's just feeling himself and he wanted to go like a little highlight plays, but also because we're looking for a pickup. If we get a pickup, that means that this R prime is very easy to take. And if we secure that R prime, it should be game because then we're gonna have like enough pushing power. As you can see, like all the waves are very well set up overall by the Dawn side, and now we're gonna get an R prime. It's R prime that is being secured after most of the team has come back from base because we basically just got the Feng Tooth and then just a single kill, so people are not needed to go back to base, and now we're gonna look at actually ending the game on that last push. So here we can see that Morose kind of deviating a little bit to go for the teal buff. In my opinion, it's a little bit too much. Shouldn't go like for that farm, but now we're gonna join the team. And here we have this wave that is pushing aggressively. Once we have an inhibitor down, it's very easy to enter into the base. We're looking at any target, and here we kind of look for the Murdoch, but then we're turning onto the rest, and yeah. The damage is so big. 4 item, Arthurs is stacked by a lot. We're gonna go in, gonna dash in, Earthshatter, triple kill, and that's gonna be the W. And that was how you can snowball a lead from a simple early gank from your jungler towards like a W.